Hello again, everyone. Going to be doing a little project on the 66 Mustang Fastback. Not going to be anything mechanical or body work or anything like that. We'll take a quick look at the motor while I'm here. Got the little trickle charger hooked up there. That's what those wires going to the battery are for. Got the 5.0 liter engine in this Mustang. Of course, fuel injection worked out really well. Used a Ron Francis wiring harness to hook it all up. So let's shut the hood. All right, now to show you what I'm going to be doing to the car. When I built the car, I didn't put a radio in it. Don't have a rear seat. I've got the Shelby fiberglass panel with the rear seat delete. Spare tire mounted up on top of the panel there. But I didn't put a radio in. And you can see I've just got a plate there where the radio, factory radio went. But we decided we wanted to put a radio in the car, so what I'm doing, let me get this shifter out of the way. Look right here, that's a Craig floor mount for a radio. In this case, it's going to be an FM 8-track. I actually had a Craig floor mount, just an 8-track player, in a 68 Mustang. So I did remember those Craig radios and 8-tracks, and they were pretty unique as you mounted them on the transmission hump or the floor of your car. And they had a little key that went in the radio, and it turned a lever that went in this slot right here on the mount, and that locked the radio into the car. And it did make it kind of hard to steal your radio. Or if you had one just under the dash, you know, you could just take a couple of bolts out and off you'd go with it. But this one, you really had to have that key to turn the lever, and then the radio just slid out. You can see it's got little catches, little hooks on the sides there that it slides in and out with. That's what we're going to put in the car. And I've already mounted the base, or the mount. You can see I've got the screws into the transmission hump. It's all wired up, ready for the radio to slide in and turn on and listen to some FM and some 8-tracks. I also bought new speakers to put on this rear deck. There's one there and one over there. And I have a new speaker up in the dash, a 4x10 that goes right there. And this little box that you see with it's got double-sided tape. It's just stuck down to the top of the speaker grill. That's an FM antenna. It's an amplified. You can see the red and the black wire coming out of the back there. It is an amplified FM antenna, so I'm hoping that'll pick up enough FM if we want to listen to the radio out on the highway. We can. So we'll have some kind of music, whether it be radio or 8-track. The radio I'm going to be using, it's a model 3125 Craig radio, and it is FM and 8-track. So let's take a look at it. And here's the radio. Has I think you can see the dial there. Of course, that lights up when you turn the radio on. FM here at the top. Does have 5 presets. I'll show you how they work once I get everything put in the car. And here's the 8-track player. program buttons here for the 4 different tracks, and that also turns on the radio if you're not playing a tape. You just push in on that and the radio will come on. Volume, balance, tone, self-explanatory. Eject is when you're done playing a tape. You just push the eject button and it spits the tape out. As I was showing you out in the car, these were rather unique. That mount just hooks in, and then you have a jack on the mount that slides onto this plug here on the radio. And there's a lock that you turn to activate this lever, which is right in there. I think you can see it, that lever right there. When you turn that lock, that lever comes down into this slot right here and locks it into the mount that's in the car. I bought this on eBay, and a fellow listed it as untested, so I did take a chance. But as you can see, the faceplate on this, the chrome is great. Most of these are discolored when you see them, because after all, this was made in the early to mid 70s. But this one, I doubt if it was used very much at all, just from the looks of it. Even the tape door is not really scratched, so pretty amazing there. Do have a little paint scratch right there, paint's gone, little ding right there, but all in all, it really looks good. And I did test this when I got it. There's my power supply, and this is my bench where I work on vintage electronics from time to time. So I did hook it up, and FM works great. The 8-track, it even played. Belt is bad. It's probably the original belt. So all I'll be doing to this is just we'll take this cover off, and we'll put a new belt on, and while we're in there, we'll lube the capstan shaft. I'll show you that when we get in there. But that should take care of the mechanical part and the electronics, and we'll be ready to plug this thing in and try it out in the car. Alright, there's the insides, and underneath there's the capstan shaft with the belt on it for the 8-track. So we've got to take this bottom plate off too to get to that. And that gets that out of the way. We have 2 screws that hold the capstan shaft in. We've got a screw right there and a screw right there. Have a little wire retainer that screw goes through, so we'll leave it right there, and there's a bracket. You just set it out of the way. Now we can take our belt off, and this belt, it was still working, but you can see it's been sitting in the same position for a while. Got a little bend in it there where it's set around the motor shaft. So now that we have the belt off, we can pull the capstan shaft out. And we'll just put a little drop of oil right there at the bottom of the shaft. And we'll clean this off. It's got some residue on it there. And in the back should have a little spot of grease. And it does. There's still some grease on it. So we'll get that taken care of, put a new belt on, and this thing should be in good shape. Alright, shaft back in, new belt on. So now we'll put the bracket back over the capstan shaft, and then put the case back together. Alright, now we'll put the bottom case back on. And before I put this bottom case on, I did clean all three of the controls here in the front. Sprayed a little control cleaner in each one of them. They were fine. They weren't scratchy or anything, but just as a precaution, went ahead and did that too. All right, let's take it out and see how it works. Got the radio slid into the mount. Let's see what we got. That's a local station on FM, about 20 miles away, but we are in this metal building, so pretty happy with that. I think when we get outside where the building's not blocking us, we'll pick up enough stations to be okay. Let's try the 8-track.
Every night when you said it was a quiet night, and I would be alright if I could go.
We're working fine. Have this volume turned down. I wanted to show you how the 8-track works. Program button, and when you're finished, you hit the eject. It kicks it out just enough for the radio to come back on, and you can pull the tape out. There's the radio. And to set a channel, let's say we want to set this channel we have tuned in on the third button. You just pull the button out like that, and then push it back in. And then we hit the third button. There's our station. And if you're finished listening to the radio, you hit the button right here that says program FM. That turns the radio off. So there's the Craig FM 8-track mounted in the Mustang. And you can see we have enough room here. It's a close fit, but got enough room for the heater controls, heater defrost controls. Hope you've enjoyed this video on putting a Craig FM 8-track in the 66 Mustang Fastback. And until the next video, take care. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, and we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel. Thanks.